G'day folks, I'm down in my shed at the moment. Anyway, I got a couple of decks that get oiled once a year, and I've already done the big deck with a brand of stuff that I'll show you. However, I'm going to do the small deck using mineral turpentine and linseed oil, which is a cheaper alternative. On the larger deck I use this Qtech, and I've been using it since the deck was built about 8 years ago. It's really good stuff. However, on the smaller deck I go for the cheaper option there, and that's where I use the linseed oil and turpentine. I've been using the linseed oil and turpentine mix for about 5 years now, and I find that quite acceptable for the area that I use it on. And by the way, it's a 50-50 mix ratio when you use this on timber. When you put a product down on a deck, whether it be acrylic or oil based, you can use the sheepskin pad there, the roller, or a paintbrush. Generally you would use a paintbrush anyway to cut in around the edges. That roller, of course, is a short-haired oil paint roller. Now I've put the rag in there just as a reminder and a caution that if you use a rag for turpentine and linseed oil, there's a danger that under the right conditions it can actually spontaneously combust. So it can actually catch fire just sitting there. So when you're finished with these things, what I do, if they've got any oil in them at all, I just soak the rag in water and I hang it out somewhere until it dries out, and then it's safe to throw it away. I was told by an old school painter, who was my dad, that after you've used a brush for oil paint or decking oil and you clean it out in turpentine, it's a good idea just to fill a container up to the top of the bristles with a solution of washing up liquid and water, and just leave it for a couple of days, because it just cleans the brush a little bit better. This is a small deck. First up, I really have to give it a clean before I can do anything. It's really just dirty, so I'll just use water this time. You can use a little bit of detergent if there's any stains of that, but this one's pretty good. Okay, I've cleaned the deck and I've got my linseed oil ready to go. Now I've cut the bottle because I couldn't get the lid undone. Linseed oil is like a really strong glue, and if you have any on the edge of your container, it will glue the lid shut. But I'm not worried about that because I'm going to use all of this. Got my turpentine ready to go, and if you've ever painted, you will have one of these. That's an empty paint pot. However, for this job I'm going to use this old Qtech tin, because for my second coat, if I have any of this left, it will be in a tin that of course is easier to open. For this small deck, I'm just going to use a brush. I'm not going to worry about the roller or the pad. It would be quicker, but a brush is less to clean, and it's not going to take me that long anyway. Now we're not going to hold the camera while I paint this whole deck, so I'll see you when I'm just about finished. That's oiling the deck using linseed oil and turpentine. A piece of advice I'd give you though is don't mix up too much. I mixed up enough because I'm going to do another coat in about a week once this dries. If you do mix up too much, it will go like jelly in the pot or jar wherever you're storing it, and eventually it will go rock hard. So mix up too much, wait too long, and you won't be able to use it. Now I've given my brush a really good clean with turpentine, so it's still a little bit oily. Put it in there, whack in a bit of washing up liquid. Let's have the tap on. Leave that in there for a couple of days and it'll take the oil out of your brush. Anyway, as always, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching.